Welcome to the Popko Project Podcast, a platform for the discussion and discovery of arts and entertainment. We focus on highlighting people and events that add value to the world around us. Visit us on all social media platforms by searching the Popko Project or visit our website at thepopkoproject.com. Welcome to the show, and thank you so much for listening. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Keller's Garden Center and Landscaping Services. Contact Keller's today and get your yard cleaned up before that dirty old man winter comes. I hate to say it, but he's on his way. The mornings are cold. They're frigid. I don't like it. I'm turning the steering wheel warmer on. I'm putting the seat warmers on. It's just miserable. But contact Keller's today. And if you're looking for snow removal services during the winter months, they can take care of that for you too. Do not break your back this winter and leave the heavy lifting to the professionals at Keller's. Family owned and operated. Their team is looking forward to serving you. Keller's Garden Center and Landscaping Services, located on Kern Street in Exeter near Blue Ribbon Dairy. Find them on social media to learn more. Hello. How you doing?
Great. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, we got Jared here from Baked Shrimp from Long Island, New York, right?
Long Island, New York, Strong Island.
Strong Island. What are you hiding in that background there?
You know what? It's funny. This is actually my sister's older room, and it's like just covered in a lot of just psychedelic stuff. I'm just always like, when I do stuff like this, I'm like, I guess this is a little different. This is a podcast, so it's not that big of a deal. But
yeah,
that's just I naturally have this on. I use this as my office now.
Love it.
And this is this is better to blur.
Love it. I had to ask. But Baked Shrimp is a progressive funk trio, like I said, from Long Island, New York. And you guys have a show coming up at the River Street Jazz Cafe. I believe it's February 10th, correct?
February 10th, yes.
Perfect. So the Jazz Cafe, have you played it before?
We have. We were there in September of last year.
Okay, so it's kind of
September of 22. September of 2020.
So a year and a half or so. Yeah, that's one of the very few venues remaining for bands to play at around like locally in the Scranton Wilkes-Barre area. So it's unfortunate.
Yeah, I remember having a great time there though. From what I remember, we've played a lot of shows since then, but we're definitely stoked to head back there.
Yeah, your style of music does very well there. I think they kind of like double down on that genre. So yeah, that'd be fun for sure.
Absolutely.
But not so I try and do a little research, but not too much because I want to try and just have it kind of happen organically. But I did see on your website these are farewell dates. Are you guys done? Is it a joke? What's going on?
Not a joke. It's an indefinite hiatus until when we're ready to pick it back up. It's an indefinite
hiatus. Okay. Well, that's like this might be the first time I'm ever interviewing somebody who's going to be going on. I'm going to be playing a show, and then I think you have that show. You have a show a day or two after that, and then you're hitting the hiatus.
We're playing Park City Music Hall on February 17th.
Okay, so a week after the Jazz Cafe, and then you're taking a break.
Yeah.
How come?
There's a lot of reasons that not going to go into a podcast, but we've felt that we've hit a point where it's time to explore other adventures and opportunities and other journeys in life, and we're all still very young and can all still have a lot of goals in mind and things we all want to do individually. And putting this little pause right now is what we decided is the best thing for the three of us.
Okay, that's fair enough. It's it's one of those things. Maybe you take a break and you realize that's cheesy saying, the absence makes the heart grow fonder, right? Maybe you guys take a break and you're like, hey, that was a lot of fun. Let's get back together and do that. But yeah, that's it happens. But let's talk about baked shrimp. Currently, we're not going on a hiatus yet. How long have you guys been around for?
Well, we're on our 7th year. 7 years.
So it's been a little while.
We started in January of 2017 was our first year.
Okay. And were you guys friends when you started the band, or?
So I met Scott, our bass player, in June of 2016. He was at a show I was performing as a duo with our old drummer. And he was just hanging outside the venue, burning cheese on the sidewalk. I was like, this guy's interesting. Let me talk to him.
Can you elaborate? Can you elaborate on that a little bit? Burning cheese?
I don't remember what type of cheese it was. It might have been cheddar, maybe American. I don't know. But it was cheese. And he was burning it. And I was like, all right, I'll talk to this guy. I mean, this guy's kind of interesting. So
well, did he have like a magnifying glass in the sun burning the cheese? What was
No, he had a lighter. He was smoking a cigarette. Yeah. Okay. And he's like, yo, man, like, you guys are great. Like, but like, you're only 2 people. Like, let's start a band together. And like, I was like, I don't know if like, I was also like heading to college in 2 months. This was like the summer between senior year of high school and freshman year of college. So I was also like getting ready to head to college, and like I was like, I don't know if I really want to start a band at home with the guy burning cheese on the sidewalk who I don't really know. I just met now.
Yeah.
And anyway, he was really persistent and just like kept blowing up my phone like for a while. And eventually I was like, it's fine, and not like you start a band, but like that you could come over to my house and we'll jam.
Right.
And no, he was like, yeah, it was awesome. And I was like, all right, maybe we'll make something happen in the future. And we did another show that was going to be a duo, and then we decided to add guests to it, and Scott was one of those guests. And like we told him like a week before, we were like, hey, it'd be really cool if like we just like kept this going. And we kept it going. And when we made the drummer switch was when we met Jagger in like December of 2017. And Jagger joined the band in March of 18. This was all like, I met Jagger through like Facebook, like interwebs of like just like having mutual friends and like going to the same shows and stuff. And his band was disbanding at that point, the band he was in on Long Island. And then the 3 of us rocked it out for 6 years as the trio.
This might be the most interesting way that I've heard a band get together. At your age too, because typically, you guys were young, right? Typically, it's like, oh yeah, we were in high school or we were college, we were friends, we were buddies, whatever. And you're meeting guys.
Oh yeah, none of us ever attended the same school or the same college or anything. Yeah, that's actually, I never even thought about that. That's actually funny that you said that. I never even thought about. Yeah, it's usually you're right. Like you're in the same school or the same college. No, we've never been in the same school or college together.
Yeah, and the fact that you guys were together for 6-7 years, like that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So, as far as the music goes, like I said before, it's a progressive funk trio. Can you elaborate on that a little bit as to, let's say someone's watching this or listening to this, and they're not sure what you guys are all about. Can you kind of explain what you guys do?
Yeah, baked shrimp. I mean, we touch on a lot of genres, um, bluegrass, grunge, um, funk, psychedelic. What's most important to us is just giving a unique show every night. Trying to bring the same energy every night. Also, um, we like to think we have good songwriting, and it's unique, stands out. Some of it's progressive, and we like to think we have interesting cover choices. And yeah, I mean, every show is completely unique. We have a lot of fun. We have a lot of inside jokes and things that like a lot of the fans won't even know. It's just like, but we like do on stage just because it's fun for us. You know, so we try to have a lot of fun out there, and we try to also make sure the audience has a good time.
Yeah, so it sounds like you guys have a lot of fun, and maybe you can help. We'll talk about so it's baked shrimp. There's a lot of ocean references. I feel like you have albums called Pork Etiquette, the Prano tapes, Feast of Delight. Those are all
Food.
accurate. Food.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say
food.
pork's not quite aquatic.
Sure. Okay, you're right. There's no pork in the ocean, right?
I've never seen a swimming pig before,
No.
but I would like to.
Maybe pigs fly, pigs swim. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, like by this, sounds of the album titles and things like that, it sounds like you guys have a good time. It's not just like
Yeah.
it's not that deep, I guess you could say.
Deep as in
Like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of some CD titles or band album titles. I don't know. I can't off the top of my head. I'm not sure, but it just sounds like it's fun. It's like kind of like the Panic at the Disco has those like really long track titles.
right. Right. Yeah,
It's not that deep in that like you guys didn't ponder like
we have some silliness.
Yeah, silliness. It's
a little
fun.
goofy.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we don't take ourselves all that serious.
Well, it's good.
Oh, we do. But I can see what you mean on that front, right? It's not, we like to have fun. We like to, yeah.
Now, when you're kind of getting those together, how did that come about? I mean, how did baked shrimp? I mean, I if I were you, I would have called it burnt cheese.
Burnt cheese. Yeah.
How did baked shrimp happen?
Oh, how the name happened.
Yeah, how did baked shrimp happen?
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so it wasn't always baked shrimp. It used to be naked shrimp.
Okay.
Before it was baked shrimp. That part of it I won't get into with the naked shrimp. That has to do with all different things that happened leading up to baked baked shrimp coming together in 2017. Precursors to that. Okay. But it became baked when we met Jagger, and believe it or not, Jagger is an amazing baker. He bakes cookies, brownies, like anytime we have rehearsal, he's always baking baked goods. So we were like, we can't continue this naked shrimp forever because it's like a little bit like, that's a little too goofy in a way, so Jagger came in and we're like, oh, we have this amazing baker chef who is always baking up a storm. Let's call this thing baked shrimp, and that's how we got to that.
Okay. So we went from the band forming being the most interesting um, way to happen, and then the band name the the weirdest, I think.
The what?
The weirdest.
The weirdest. Okay.
We have a
Okay.
baker. He bakes stuff. Bakes
Oh,
shrimp.
it's amazing. It's really good.
What's the best thing
Are
he's
you going to
baked?
be at the show in February?
Well, yeah, I mean, I keep doing these episodes, and it's always have to help promote stuff happen around here. So I keep getting invited to these shows.
So this is what we're going to do. We're
Okay.
going to bring you some of Jagger's baked goods
Okay.
because they're
The only way
really.
here's the only way that I will not be able to attend is if that's the weekend my wife wants to go out for Valentine's Day.
But Valentine's Day falls in the middle, so you could go do that. That could be the next weekend.
I don't make the rules, bud. Obviously, you're not married.
or go on the Friday.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Okay, all right. So you're gonna bring baked goods to the show.
For you only. He's not going to make enough for the whole audience.
Right.
That's
Yeah. That's not possible. Just for me.
just for you.
I understand. Okay. Now, what's the best thing he bakes?
Shrimp. Okay, no, not shrimp.
I like shrimp.
I mean, yeah, you typically don't bake shrimp, but no, I mean, Jagger's brownies are really good, like really good. They're top notch.
Now, does he have like a special ingredient in these brownies?
Nothing too special. I mean, it's like just they're good brownies. They're buttery, fudgy, melty.
But any like special ingredients?
Oh! I got you.
Let's go.
No, that's extra. That's definitely extra.
All right, we don't do that. That's not even legal here. Why would we even talk about it?
No, exactly. So we're not going to do that. That's not okay.
No, can't do that.
No, yeah, we're not condoning that.
Yeah, keep that where you're from. Yeah. Okay. All right. Just regular, great baked brownies. Okay.
Regular, yeah, and they're just as good.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. Baked shrimp. Baker in the group. Baker in the band. Baked shrimp. Formed from naked shrimp.
That's right.
And with a guy who is out burning cheese. Okay. We're getting somewhere here. Okay. I wish you'd get into the whole farewell thing. I mean, was that just like a run of shows this year that you're doing, or did that kind of go back from last year that's carrying on into this year? And why? I don't know. Is it just like you just felt like this was the time? Like February, middle of February, this is it. This is gonna be the
This tour started January 12th for our album release party in New York City at the Cutting Room. So it's an album release tour as well. We just released a new album that came out on January 12th. Self-titled Baked Shrimp. And yeah, that came out January 12th, and February 17th is the final show of this tour, taking place at Park City in Bridgeport, Connecticut.
All right. So, you guys put out a new album. Fans are probably excited, right? New music from Baked Shrimp.
Oh yeah,
and they're taking a hiatus. The self-titled album. Discuss that. I mean, did you guys record it knowing that this was going to be the final album before you guys took a little break?
No.
Okay. So that's a bummer. Because that would have been cool to know, like, all right, this is it, guys. Like, let's do this album. We're gonna go out with a bang. I mean, I guess you could still do that, right?
Yeah, why not?
But tell me about the album. Tell me about the. I mean, how is it? Is it different? Similar to previous records? What could fans expect if they're just digging into baked shrimp?
Sure, no,
Current release.
it's very different. So this album was recorded live versus live tracked. Like
Okay.
it wasn't like a live album. Like it was live tracked. Whereas other ones we always did like scratch tracks and recorded over overdubs. There was still plenty of we still did plenty of overdubs on this one, but the overall structure of it, the balls of it, was all live tracked, which is something we've been wanting to do for a while. And also, whereas our prior albums, the bass and drums, everything was just kind of like recorded kind of slowly over, like, because we didn't live track it, so we had to do the drums and then do the bass, guitars, everything, and like it kind of like took a lot of time. We just ended up, and we would go back and forth. Our other albums would go back and forth to studios, in and out, like the same studio, but back and forth, a lot of travel. This one, we just set up shop at Art Farm Recording Studios in Accord, New York, in the Hudson Valley area. And we just set up shop there for like a little bit over a week. It was about a week, I would say. And worked with producer Sean Boyd, and like gorgeous place with like plenty of beds and like a kitchen and gorgeous isolation booths and board and everything, and just like everything just was like we just got able to get really comfortable in that space. And yeah, we got all the drums and bass stuff done in that time, a bunch of the guitar work, a bunch of vocals. We couldn't finish everything because it's a 12-track album and there's a lot to get to. So we took the tracks and we finished them kind of at home, a local studio, and we sent it off for mixing, and that's kind of how it all came together. But it's a much different process for us than previous albums, in the sense that, like, they were like it's a lot of scratch tracks, and we feel that's why we feel better about this one. Actually, it feels more truer to what we do live, and we're more of a live band as is. Like, we were always focused on what we're doing live more so than necessarily studio stuff, but that's also its own thing. But this one felt like it was truer to Big Tramp because of the way we went about being comfortable in a space and recording these tracks live. Yeah,
I feel like a lot of bands have been recording like live track stuff. I don't know if that's like becoming more popular or maybe it's just coincidence. I don't know. And you said you were there for an entire week, so you stayed there, you slept there. What was that like?
it was fun.
I mean, I think the reason I asked that question is because, like, if you go away on a vacation with family or whatever, right? Like, day 4, you're ready to like murder somebody. So you're putting guys in a room. You're with each other for a week long. And it's not a vacation. It's you guys you're there to do work and record and make the best record you could. Like, was there ever a time that you were kind of like you guys kind of butted heads, or was it a pretty smooth process?
I mean, a big thing is that, that's like really wasn't. I mean, I guess if you're for an average day person, I mean, like, yeah, spending a week straight with people in one space in the middle of the woods is like a big deal. But like we've traveled the country and we've slept in our van that doesn't have a trailer on it. We've built beds and slept in cramped quarters in a van in a hot summer. for 3 weeks straight on the road together, and still had a loading gear, just the three of us, load out gear, do the whole shebang. This was a situation where everybody gets their own bed every night in a different room. Like, this is like kind of luxury in a way, like, so no, it was fine. We were able to spread out, and we were there to work and do the thing.
That's cool. I always wish I had that experience. Like, I don't perform music. I don't write songs. I have zero musical talent whatsoever. But obviously I talked to a lot of people that are in studios together, recording music together, and it's just a cool. It seems really cool, like a cool process.
Yeah, it's fun. I always prefer the live. I'll always prefer live over studio. For me personally, I feel like I play more natural live. I feel less pressure live than in the studio. Studio feels like a lot of pressure for me. But you're able to do things in the studio that you necessarily can't do live. Different harmonies with the guitar. You got to really make that perfect take that you kind of have in mind. And how you, like, when you write these songs, you kind of hear certain things in your head, like horn parts or clavinet, whatever, and in the studio, you're able to make kind of these things happen. Like these imaginations all happen. Which is great about the studio, but for me personally, I always love the magic of live, which was what made this fifth album so special, is that you're able to combine both aspects of it, even though it's still is a studio album, it's still full on studio. We were able to take that structure, the bare bones of it, and it's live, so that's what made that special for me.
That's cool. Now, you talked about kind of being on tour for weeks at a time, and traveling the country. Not everyone gets to do that. That's like and you mentioned you guys are young. You got a lot of time ahead of you, but I mean, as young individuals, I think the road is probably a young man's game, right? Or a young woman. Talk about being on tour for weeks at a time, and maybe the pros and cons of that.
Yeah, sure. We did it a lot as Baked Shrimp. It's about every summer going back to like 2018. We've always had huge summer tours. We're fresh off of, well, I guess not so fresh off of it. We are 2 months out now, but like we toured from basically Halloween straight through Thanksgiving, and that was a long time on the road. So we've had our good share. I don't know exactly how many we ended up doing, as far as like extensive tours that are like 3 weeks, 2.5 to 3 weeks or longer. But we did a lot, and obviously, pros are you got to show up to a new city every night with your instrument, your gear, and play to a whole new audience of people that like just came out to see you, whether if it's a small crowd or a big crowd. It's always special to have anyone there, no matter how many people it is. It's always special to know there's people all around the country that are supporting your music, your original music, and just have a good time dancing to what you do, and make it a night out with their friends. So that's always special, getting to meet fans and performing, that's why we do it, and that's why we always did it. Cons, it's eventually, you like, it gets cramped. The van gets covered in
Stinky.
garbage, and yeah, just like sometimes it's hard to even get a proper shower. You like in the sense of like you get to the hotel at 3 in the morning or 4 in the morning, and you got to be up at 8:30 or 9 or whatever it is, and you just got to go. So sometimes that's rough. It's just like not being able to eat properly, not being able to get a proper shower or go for a run, or just like the everyday things that I like to do at home. um, you have to be careful with budgeting and things like that. And I get, it's a lot. Like if you don't like literally like just like being on the road, like the actual like aspect of like being in a moving vehicle, it's gonna be a tough time because that's like most of your day.
Right.
I try to always keep myself busy when we're traveling. Like I always have my laptop like charging and just on my lap, and then usually I'm like editing the soundboard from the night before, or editing a video, making a promotional post, booking another show, or coordinating things, updating itineraries, things like that. Like I'm always trying to make sure I'm busy, so that way like it's like, oh, a 5-hour drive now feels like it's like an hour and a half. So there's ways you fall into rhythms. Yeah. It's not it's definitely not for everybody, but it's part of the gig in this type of scene, this type of world. And you find ways to go through those things.
Yeah. And before we started, you had talked about being the not only the guitar player, the frontman for Baked Shrimp, but also the show booker, social media manager, marketing representative. I feel like a lot of bands these days, they have somebody or at least one or two people that kind of take on those roles. It's not just you're recording music or playing shows. You're also your own managers, your own, like you said, booking agents and social media managers and all that kind of stuff. How did you kind of fall into that role? Is that just something that you also were talented in, or is that like I guess the question too is, was that part of the whole thing when you were starting out in music? Because you have to be that now. You can't just be a musician. So did you kind of focus on learning those things? Maybe it was in college or whatever it might be.
Yeah. You said you're gonna edit this, right?
I could.
I have to go to the bathroom real quick.
Yeah, I'll
okay?
pause it. Yeah. Well, I'll just pause it.
Thank you.
And then
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries.
Thank you.
And we're back. I was worried maybe you wouldn't come back.
Yeah, I was bailing. Getting out of this
That would have
thing.
been something. That would have been like, the most interesting podcast I've ever done. That's like, hold on, I gotta pee real quick. I'll be right back, and then never comes back.
Fell in.
No,
yeah.
I was just saying about having like your multi jobs within the band.
Yeah, I got how did I fall into it and all that. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it, like for me, is kind of just I was just kind of naturally. I just always naturally fell into those types of roles. I did go to college for music industry, Oneonta, New York, and graduated there. But I've always like kind of growing up. I mean, my parents took me to a lot of concerts growing up, and despite like also just like admiring the music I was seeing and like the tons of great music that was going on, I've just always been a huge fan of just the behind the scenes stuff of like how things happen and how things get off the ground. And I mean, I just kind of just assumed those roles from a young age of like sending those outreach emails for booking and things like that. But like, I mean, I did it for 7 years and just kind of naturally grew and got better at it and learned what works, what doesn't work, how to just get a better response rate really on sending emails, that's like an understanding that a lot of these venues and these festivals get so many submissions every day, and knowing like how to stand out, learning a little more about markets and things like I've always had a knack for things like that. I know I've spoken to a lot of musicians, and I know a lot of them tell me that it's that's why those roles exist, in the music industry, of why bands have managers and tour managers and marketing coordinators and booking agents and all that. And believe me, it's too much for one person. I don't advise anyways to ever try to take it on as one person. And we weren't always too. I mean, like we've had managers and various agencies and things like that. So we've definitely dabbled in having full teams. I mean, where we are right now, we still have a mini team, but yeah, I mean, it's an everyday job, but it's worth it when you are working in your best interest and you can feel confident in what you're doing for yourself and your bandmates. Eventually you want to get to the point of being able to fully trust your music and your dreams and ideas with
somebody else.
Yeah, with somebody else. But
I think it's important, right?
Yeah.
It's a good thing to have, because I mean, all that other stuff costs money too. So if you can really, build a foundation on your own, I mean, that's really important.
It's important. It's important skills. I mean, even if you're a musician and like you think you can do just one of them, like it's one less person you have to pay.
Yeah.
And it's just a good skill set to have, and you're working yourself towards your goals.
I majored in marketing in college, and it's funny because I finished in 2005, and the marketing landscape now is completely different than what it was almost 20 years ago, right? There really was no social media, there was no nothing like that. And I took an elective class, it was Photoshop, and I just blew it off. I'm like, this is just an elective, I don't care about this. I had somebody else do some of my homework for me. Like, I had no interest, and I'm kicking myself in the ass today, right? Because there's so much that, even if I paid attention a little bit, or maybe found a little interest in and built upon that, like I could use it for stuff like I'm doing now, like whether it's, social media, like digital assets and shit like that, that I don't have the ability to do. So it's like, I think, people who are, musically inclined and kind of like creative, they tend to gravitate towards those type of things, like, those creative outlets like design and recording and editing and things like that. So it's important. It's a very valuable tool to have.
Yeah.
And I wish I would have paid attention more.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's like I said, it's just the more you can learn about within the industry, other than just like knowing your instrument, which is something that obviously should be prioritized.
Right.
The more you can learn on the behind the scenes stuff, is the further you'll be able to better your career.
Yeah, I guess that's like anything though, really. Just kind of be a sponge, absorb anything you can along the way. And I adopted like a lifestyle, that not a lifestyle, but kind of like I never say no to things. Whatever comes my way, I don't say no. just because you never know what it
What's
could
that
lead to.
movie? That's a movie, right? It's Jim Carrey.
Was it Yes Man? Yeah.
Yes, man. Yeah.
Yes Man. Yeah.
That's-
Yeah. It's not quite to that level, but well, I got an opportunity to announce or do like a PA announcer for college basketball games, and I had never done it before. But I was like, sure, yeah, I'll do that because you never know what it could lead to.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know if we got off topic there, but
No, that's a good philosophy. I feel that in a lot of ways.
yeah, and you're young.
It's everything, but I would say
Yeah.
yes.
Don't say yes to everything.
I feel what you mean. Like yes,
Yeah.
say yes to an opportunity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So you mentioned before baked shrimp kind of you do have some covers within your sets. I was curious as to what those covers might be, and are those covers kind of would you say that those artists influenced you in any way?
I mean, it really depends. I would. I mean, yes. I can. I mean, I can't say no, but like we've built quite a repertoire of them now. Of like, and we were still only though like we only cover like 1 or 2 songs a show.
Okay.
We try to keep it mostly all original, but from various like different things we've done, like Halloween skits and things like that. We've like always like kind of care or like whatever type of weird cover set. We've always like kind of held on to those songs and pushed them forward to our regular rotation. Like we did a whole Spinal Tap Halloween cover show. So now like we'll like regularly play like Hellhole or like All the Way Home. We just did Blues Brothers this past year, so now we've been doing the Peter Gunn theme. But then years ago we did a Beatles cover set, so we do Rocky Raccoon a lot. We did a Grateful Dead inspired set once, and did Mama Tried, which is Merle Haggard, but we did like funky. So now we do like a funky Mama Tried. And there's a few cool ones that exist in there though. Scott was always really good with like bringing in some unique ones, like Clever Trevor by Ian Dury is a lot of fun. That's a really cool one. Hard Times by Baby Huey. I brought in Take Your Mama by the Scissor Sisters. Jagger sings Stay With Me by Faces. Yeah, like they're like kind of like, like a lot of people know them, but they're not like just like the first thing you would think of when like you think of someone in the scene covering songs,
Right.
We try to keep it unique. We also do like some like kind of more like we do Willie and the Hand Jive, kind of like Clapton's version of that a little bit. Up on Cripple Creek. So we there's definitely like those like kind of regular tunes we do also, but for the most part we try to make it so it's like a lot most of the audience would know it, but it's like it's not like what they would be thinking would be coming,
Right. Yeah. That's cool. And has like this style of music always been your kind of go-to, or how did you kind of fall into this genre?
I mean, I would say it goes from like the three of our influences. I definitely grew up in the jam world of things. My parents are deadheads and have seen over 300 Dead shows, and they're huge Fish fans. It got me into Fish. And a lot of various smaller jam bands, but I also studied a lot of jazz in high school and going into college, and various just I've always just loved classic rock and Hendrix and Zapp and Floyd. Yeah, Fusion had Jimmy Herring. And then combine that with Scott's taste of huge Beatles fan. He loves They Might Be Giants. We both have a love for Ween.
I love Ween.
Hell yeah. And then Jagger. Also, Scott also loves like punk. Scott's like a big punk and Beatles guy. So like a lot of his songs, you'll hear that come out. Like they sound like it's the Beatles for a punk band sometimes, you know. He like perfectly combines those two things. And then Jagger, huge fan of the band, the Almonds, you know, a lot of funk, a lot of jazz. So, you know, he takes those worlds of like the New Orleans and like sometimes Motown type of things and fuses that into his songwriting. And then we just like take all this and combine it together and there's baked shrimp.
That's cool. I don't know, like, I'm trying to think if I was in a band, if I would be able to like, I love the idea of bringing all that together and having like this project that kind of encompasses all of that, right, in some kind of fashion. But like, I think that if I ever was in a band, like, if it was just punk music, I think I'd probably get so bored with that. And I would probably like, all right, I'm done with this after a year and I want to go do classic rock. And then I'm done with this. I want to go do, you know, whatever it might be. I don't think I could ever focus very long on one genre. It's just me.
Oh, I can see what you mean. Like for sure. That's why we do what we do. You know.
Yeah, that's cool.
Every song could be completely a different style from the next.
Yeah, this is gonna sound silly, but I just like I just can't. Even deodorant. I'll find a new scent. This is my new deodorant. I love this scent, and I'll use it. I probably won't even finish it before I'm like, I'm done with this now. I'm done with this.
It's funny because who was it? I think it was Jagger who said that scented deodorant. He said something. Scented deodorant doesn't work after a certain time, which I
don't know.
Never heard that before.
Well, now you got to watch for aluminum in your deodorant. So it's like, I don't know. It's like, oh, is this deodorant bad? I don't even know. That's a different topic to get into. But
I think it has something to do with scent. I don't know. That made me think of that though. That you said you don't like to use the same scent.
Yeah, I get bored with it. I want to smell different.
I feel that. What's like your go-to pizza topping?
Topping? Probably pepperoni if I had a topping.
But you get bored of it and you're like, all right, time for sausage.
The thing with pizza is I'm not it depends. Like I probably wouldn't be like I'm dying for a pepperoni pizza right now. So the pizza that
you walk into a pizza shop, you want one slice, what are you getting?
Well, if they have chicken wing pizza, probably that.
Like buffalo chicken?
Yeah.
Okay, but if you get it every single time you go there.
Well, yeah, it'd probably get boring.
Boring. Yeah.
Yeah. We gotta switch it up.
Exactly.
Well, we have pizza here. It's like Sicilian pan-fried pizza. That by itself is phenomenal.
Is that thin crust or is that?
It's not thin. It's like a rectangle. It's probably
sounds like Detroit pizza.
Yeah, it's not as thick as that. But it's probably like a 3/4 of an inch high, I'd say.
Sounds like Detroit pizza.
It's a little bit, I think, a little smaller in height if you were to. But yeah,
does it have a butter crust?
I believe
like
so. Yeah. It's like kind of cane. It's the same concept. Detroit. Yeah. They call it Sicilian pan-fried pizza here.
Yeah, they probably get sued if they call Detroit pizza or something. That's what they call it.
Maybe, yeah. You're right, probably. But that's my go-to here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wait. In
NEPA, Northeastern Pennsylvania. Yeah. The self-proclaimed pizza capital of the world.
That wouldn't make much sense. But
It's self-proclaimed. That's what they said.
Northeast Pennsylvania.
Well, old
Sorry,
food.
I love Northeast Pennsylvania. We're very excited for our show there.
Old Forge,
Can't wait,
I should
but,
say.
Sorry, but that's not Northeast. That's not pizza capital of the world.
To be more specific, pizza capital is Old Forge. Self-proclaimed.
Okay, gotcha.
Old Forge. I mean,
Gotcha.
Dave Portnoy was here in Old Forge.
He's been everywhere.
I know, but he was here. He had it.
No, I would say there's New York pizza, there's New Haven pizza, Detroit pizza, and I came around to Chicago pizza. I happened to love it when we went. My bandmates hated it. I loved it. I thought it was awesome. And it's still not as good as the pizza back here, just because that it's completely different.
Now, have you had pizza from our area when you were in town?
You're being serious. You're like actually you're saying Northeast Pennsylvania has good pizza?
Excellent pizza, 100%. And I'm shocked that you're shocked by this.
I just never heard of it. I mean, I know like I know.
When are you coming?
I know Jersey's known for it. I've never had that though. I've never had Jersey's pizza.
So you have a show on February 10th in NEPA, specifically Plains, Pennsylvania, River Street Jazz Cafe. It's probably like an evening show, right? When do you get into town?
We'll be coming from Albany. So
you're gonna leave
o'clock.
You're gonna leave Albany at 2-3 o'clock, or you're gonna get into
No. We're probably gonna leave Albany around like 11 a.m.
Okay. We should try to hook up.
We should. Let's get it. Show me the best pizza spot. You know what actually had good pizza, but had even better cheesesteaks? Angelo's Pizza in Philly. Have you ever been there?
Yes. Long time ago.
Oh my God. Dude. Those cheesesteaks, another level. Like no one will ever do a cheesesteak better than that. But we had to get the pizza too, because it was like it's called Angelo's Pizza, right. And I do believe Portnoy gave it a 9.4 or something.
Okay. And
I was like, all right, let's give it a shot.
So, we have sweet sauce pizza here too.
What's that?
It's just like the sauce is like a sweeter flavor.
Like, do they add sugar to it, or is it like
I don't know? Probably, yeah.
Candy.
Yeah, sweet sauce. Buddy, I feel like we need to make this happen now. Like, we'll just go around. We'll get like.
Take me on a pizza tour.
Yeah, I feel like we have to now. We'll record some of it. We'll get some content for our social media pages.
Yeah, I can't do anything without content.
Content is king. We need it.
A shrimp eating a pizza.
You can get shrimp on pizza. Dude, there's a place here. They have shrimp and hot peppers pizza. It's phenomenal. And it's like a
shrimp and hot pepper. What's the geometry of the pizza?
It's like a rectangle.
Okay. Is the sauce spicy or just the peppers?
Probably the peppers.
Okay.
Probably the peppers.
Sounds good.
It's fucking amazing.
I think I've had shrimp on pizza before. I definitely have. It's usually like a white, like a ricotta.
I haven't had it in a while.
I'm sure. I mean, it sounds good. It's probably hard to do because shrimp can overcook so easy. So if I can only imagine if you like already cooked the shrimp, you put on the pizza, then you put the pizza in the oven, that shrimp's going to become like rubbery and
yeah. Well, they do a good job. I don't know how they do it. Maybe they put it in for a little while, and then put the shrimp on after the fact. Just a little cook.
The best seafood pizza is the white clam pizza in New Haven.
That sounds disgusting.
White clam?
That sounds gross.
Why does that sound gross? Do you like clams?
Clams are okay. My wife loves clams. I'm I could take it or
But
leave
that's
it.
what New Haven's known for. You never been to New Haven before?
No.
Oh, okay. So when you come to New Haven, I'll take you on an actual pizza tour of like the best pizza like in the country. We'll go to Sally's.
Okay.
We'll get a tomato pie, which is like
Okay.
literally one of the best pizzas you can, probably the best pizza you can find in the world. Sally's, a Beats in New Haven, and then right next to that, literally on the same street, 2 stores over, is Frank Pepe's, who also does a tomato pie, but it's not as good. But they do a white clam pie, which is like have you ever had linguine and clam sauce?
Yes.
That's what it is. It's just that on pizza.
Okay.
There's no red sauce. There's no like. It's linguine with clams, but you can eat it with your hands.
Mm.
That's what it is.
I don't know. I mean, I'd try it. I wouldn't say, no.
We'll make that happen.
I would say yes. I would say yes to the opportunity to have white clam pizza.
I'll say yes to the opportunity to have pan crust,
Pan-fried Sicilian.
pan-fried Sicilian.
Yeah, we would hit up Pizza Perfect for sure, or Pizza Lovin'. I would probably go Pizza Perfect.
Okay.
For that specifically.
Sounds good.
And then I would go Angelo's or Jerry's for sweet sauce, because both places are amazing.
There's another Angelo's. Is it affiliated to the Philly one?
I don't think so. No.
Okay, I was gonna say we gotta
so.
get cheesesteaks then.
I don't even know if they have cheese. I think it's just pizza, but it's sweet sauce pizza.
Okay. Sweet sauce.
Yeah. So I gotta find out what my wife's gonna want to do that Saturday, because I got 2 kids too, but I very very busy with the family stuff. So if she doesn't want to do Saturday, I'm gonna say, hey, Saturday's off the books. I'm doing a pizza tour with the guys in Baked Shrimp,
There you go.
and I'm going to the show afterwards and having brownies,
Yeah,
but the safe kind.
absolutely. Well, they're gonna be more. They're gonna be the best brownies you ever ate. I'm telling you.
If I tell her I'll bring her some home, that might be a win.
There you go. Exactly.
But let's wrap things up. Baked Shrimp, February 10th, River Street Jazz Cafe, Plains. Where can people find you online?
BakedShrimpMusic.com. All of our tour dates and tickets are up there. When does this episode air?
Next week. So today is, for those listening, this is pre-recorded. Today is January 23rd. This will come out the week of January 29th, probably like the 2nd of February. So a week before the show. Plenty of time to get tickets.
Right. Okay. I was going to say, yeah, we have a couple of shows February 2nd, February 3rd, 8th, 9th, and 10th, and then 17th. Big Shrimp Music, BigShrimpMusic.com/tour to get all the tickets. Facebook.com/Big Shrimp Music, Instagram/Big Shrimp Music, everything Big Shrimp Music. Spotify. Spotify Baked Shrimp. New album.
Everyone's going to fall in love with you after they hear this episode, and then you're going to go on a hiatus. An indefinite hiatus.
That's correct. Yes.
It's indefinite. So fall in love with the music. Follow them on all the social medias. Follow them on Spotify. Just because they're going on a hiatus doesn't mean you can't fall in love with Baked Shrimp.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, John.
Yeah, man. Well, hopefully make this February 10th a day and night to remember.
Yeah, we're stoked.
Anybody who attends the show will be.
And we know that this is the same area as Peach Music Festival, which we had the honor of performing at in 2023 on the Grove stage to probably the biggest crowd we've ever played to in our lives. So it's going to be special to hopefully see a bunch of them back in the small club of River Street and packing it out. That's gonna be
Well, I just I talked to Yam Yam last week.
Oh,
if
we
you're
love
familiar.
Yam Yam.
Yeah, so their episode releases this week. They've got a show at the Jazz Cafe on Saturday, I believe, the 27th. And they also played at Peach, and we were talking about that because as this time last year, you were able to buy tickets for Peach Fest. So there's a rumor going around that Peach Fest is not happening this year.
Yeah, I personally don't know.
We'll see.
I'm privy.
I don't know. No one knows. I guess we'll find out. But yeah, dude, thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate your time. Baked shrimp, formerly naked shrimp.
That's right.
We'll be in touch. Try to get that Saturday together for the pizza tour.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Thank you.
You got it.
All right, we'll see you.